Today, I want to talk a little about this whole concept of doing business wrong. Now, there's a whole heap of ways that you can do business. There's very specific ways that we talk about doing business at Magic. It's wonderful. It's called having fun. It's called bringing joy back in, because I'm seeing a whole lot of very tired women out there. It's that time of the year. It's, well, especially down south here in Melbourne, it's cold. It's hard sometimes to get motivated when it's so cold, but it's also just that time of the year, you know, where you've been plugging away. It feels like New Year's resolutions are a little bit far away. Christmas also seems like it's far away, and you're in this limbo land, and it feels like the joy got sucked out of your business. And I want to say stop, because right now you're doing business wrong, and doing would be the operative word. So when I have someone come to me and talk about not enjoying business, or feeling like it's heavy, or that it's not going the way that they planned for it to go, you know, you can almost tell like there's just no life force going on in the business. It's really clear to me as a very experienced coach, and someone who I'd say, like, I give myself kudos at being really, really good at being able to read people and transform very, very quickly, transform them, help them transform quickly. They do the transforming, I guide. That when that's happening, especially for women, there's a whole lot of doing going on. And so if you imagine, like, on the continuum, like if you imagine a graph, like along this like horizontal bar, there's that continuum of doing. And then on the other axis in Sassy CEO land, I talk about being. And so there's a whole lot of doing. And when you're just doing all the time, that's when we find that the joy starts to be sucked out. There's a lot of busyness going on. So examples of this is, you know, just stuck doing client work. A lot of women talk about doing billable work, especially if you're someone that's stuck in a model that relies on billable hours or billable income, so you can invoice at the end of the month and hope to God that someone might pay your invoice. Admin, oh my gosh, I cringe when I hear someone talking to me about doing admin work in their business. It's just a whole lot of doing and busyness, and you, it kind of extends back to when you used to have a job, right? All of us have had a job at some point, and when you're an employee, it's kind of like a badge of honor to be really busy. People want you to be doing stuff. They want you to look like you're doing something, because you're getting paid by the hour, and the person who's running the business wants to think or feel like you're doing something. I know my first job was Macca's, and I still remember to this day how you were literally trained that if there was no customers, you were trained to be wiping down a bench or to be moving something around so that it looked like that you were busy and that you were doing something constructive. Even if it wasn't that constructive, you had to be busy. And I think a lot of us, whether you've worked in industries like that or whatever it is, we've been brought up that there's this like badge of honor to be busy. And the doing is important, but the being has to come first, because when we start with the being, and I will go into what that sort of means a little bit more in a second, we can actually start to get really clear on what doing needs to happen. And so, you know, one of the most important reasons why I get all my clients to stop so that we can take time to map things out, whether that be in a strategic planning process or whether it be just through a conversation, and to slow things down. When you do that, even on a physiological level, things start to become clearer. Like when you're in this, like, I mean, your brainwave is in a completely different space when you're in that busy. It's like, you imagine it's very frenetic. You know, you can't find the right solutions for you in that place. And so, you know, starting by doing things like even just breathing just changes your whole physiology. And then taking a little break from what you're doing and actually really looking at what are you spending your time on. If you're spending all your time on running around after clients, you know, admin work, billable hours, that sort of stuff, you're not really having any opportunity to be the sassy CEO in your business, to find time to actually work on the business, to change what is happening within your business unit. And look, for everyone, it's a little bit different. As you know, my favorite thing to say is there's no cookie cutters in Sassy CEO. It's a very individualized process. And the reason why I'm so big on that is because each and every one of you who's watching this has a very different definition of what success is, has a very definition for what you want out of your business. And so, that's why it's so important to have individualized help so that you can build something that's important and meaningful for you. So the very first thing I want you to do, if you're feeling this like, oh, it all feels heavy and it feels very unfun right now, is to start going back into, being. And your brain will want to tell you you don't have time to do this, but you don't have time not to do this. So, whether it's a journaling session, whether it's just taking a walk and just getting some fresh air, and taking stock of all the things that you've done in the last couple of weeks. And if it's just all client work, admin work, busy work, and there's no opportunity in there to do really meaningful work that actually grows your business, whether that be looking at how the business is functioning so that it can be as efficient as possible, looking at how you're getting clients, do you have a system for getting clients consistently, and welcoming them on board and helping them so that it's leveraged and that you can create consistent income that you can kind of track and what's going to be happening. Do you have any of that? You're never going to have any of that if you don't actually start being the woman that you need to be. And so that's a really important question that I have for you today. The woman who is doing the things that you want out of your business. So if you imagine future you, okay, maybe it's the woman that has a business that generates, $40,000 a month in revenue or in income for herself. Maybe it's the woman that is able to, have consistent 15 to 20K months paying herself as well as having a team that supports her. Whatever it is for you, what does that woman do day to day? And I can guarantee you the number one thing that woman doesn't do is just do mindless work. She doesn't just work on client work. She doesn't revolve around billable hours. She's doing way more meaningful things within her business. She's looking at her business completely differently, and she's actually focusing on things that will grow her business. Now, if you're sort of like, I'm a bit lost, I really don't know, the key things that are obviously going to grow your business are sales and marketing. And so I've been having a really good think about this, and obviously, the first part to that equation is marketing. And I'm so tired of hearing the excuses go around. I had the excuse for a long time, oh, I'm too busy, oh, I can't consistently show up and do the marketing the way that I want to do it. And we have a lot of resistance around consistently sharing the brand, sharing our business. A lot of women say to me, I don't know what my message is. I don't know what I should be doing. And it really boils down to you not showing up enough to be able to practice and start to get good at it. Because no matter how many people you watch out there that tell you that there's this magic funnel or that there's this magic way of doing marketing, I really don't want to be a party pooper. Like, there is amazing ways for you to have systems in your business so that you can grow your business consistently and have great clients come in and all that. It's not that that's not possible, but without you doing some work to really find out what that means for you, it's never going to happen. So you need to actually change your behaviors. You need to change how you're showing up in your business.
Hi amazing one, I hope you're loving this video. If it's vibing with you and feels like it's the right fit for you, then please come join us over in our free Facebook group. I'd love to get to know more about you and your business really soon.